everyone, it's time for another GunPla review. This time we have a premium Bandai kit. If you saw my unboxing, you already kind of know what it is, or, you saw the title of the video. Either way, it is the RX-80 PR Pale Rider Space Type. This unit comes from the Missing Link side story, video game, and manga, and is a pretty badass unit using the Hades system, which is similar to that of the exam system from the Blue Destiny. But this isn't about the story of the unit, this is about the unit itself, and does this high-grade premium kit hold up? And here it is, the Pale Rider Space Type. Looking generally intimidating, it's one of the good aspects of this mobile suit is that it really does look like a fierce opponent. Alright, so just looking at it visually, we have some nice thrusters here on the back, get the extra fuel tanks here, standard backpack thrusters of course, some extra flight assist tools on the legs, even little thrusters here. You have the long beam rifle type that the G04 and G05 use. You get kind of the standard large shield. Sticker looks a little bit off. And something just popped off. In addition to all that, we of course have our hip holstered beam saber blades and our Gatling gun. So, like I said, pretty intimidating, pretty well armed for battle, but the GunPla kit needs to look more than cool in order to get a high recommendation. So, let's take a look at the flexibility. Foot has a pretty good amount of things, mainly because it's a specialty kind of joint thing, so you get a good left, right out of that. You can, oh, it's not good. Shit. It could possibly fully rotate if not for the shape of the legs. But it gets some decent rotation in there. Of course, your little guard it's very tight. These side, hold on, let's go this way. Side things here have no movement on them, though they do have a sticker that doesn't want to stay on. Should probably just paint that. As for leg, got a decent bend at the knee, can go all the way up, can kick its own backpack. That's always good. Pop the flaps forward. Of course, get pretty good in the forward, but its back flaps are blocked by the backpack, so everything's falling off. Leave some points for structure right there. Front flaps and side flaps do what front flaps and side flaps do. But you can get a decent, can't go full Van Damme, but you can get pretty close. It's not too bad. I don't know why you'd want your suit to do that, but it can. So the arm, got a pretty nice 360 rotation, no real problems. Can bend decently far. Check on this guy here. You can see you can get it all the way over the head of your gun if you want to. You can go full last shooting. Hand turns around all the way, wobbles a bit. Wobbles a little too much for my taste. And you get a decent amount of shield out of the way. Decent amount of bend there on the elbow. Not too bad. As for the head, it can almost, wait, can it? Oh, it can go 360. That's very nice. Forward and back action. Looks like you can look a little more eyes downcast, eyes upcast. Not too bad. There's no movement or anything on the shoulders. No movement on the backpack, but parts will fall off all the time. And there is a little swivel thing here. And that's about it. Building this unit was a massive pain. One, it has the type of leg polycaps that I don't like. It's those little small slat ones. Anyone who's built a lot of kits knows what I'm talking about. The good news is they keep the legs in no matter what. Bad news, getting the legs in the first place is difficult. As you may have noticed, parts fall off, including the shooting hand, which is not even a trigger finger, it's just a standard hand. This one is so wobbly and loose, I'm going to have to tighten it up in order to make it even worthwhile. And these little side holsters have a tendency to fall off as well, as do the side leg jet booster things. All that generally annoys me. In addition to that, because this hand is so wobbly, it's actually really difficult for it to hold its Gatling gun, which is the reason why I bought this suit. Now, you can set it up to try to have both hands supported. It is possible, but you've got to really position it properly. I'll show how the hands can go in order to make it work and to make it look as cool as you want it to look. You may even have to, you probably should pop off the shield, which can pop off, in order to make it look better. We'll try to do that a little later in the episode when we talk about the armaments. But while we're talking about the construction, let's also talk about the absurd amount of stickers. You have a sticker right here on the gun part. On the wrists, you have 4 on the chest. You have both front and back camera. You have some eyes that actually have a visor, so it's almost pointless. Little things here on the edges. Inside both of these little booster things. And we have them, of course, for these little internal thrusters here. The rifle scope, of course, has one. So yeah, there's a lot of stickers. And there's even more because it allows you to set this up as either the Hades mode or the standard mode, which includes an alternate visor and alternate stickers for those slots. I went with Hades mode because I figured if I was going to use the big Gatling gun, I may as well do it in Hades mode. Little did I know the Gatling gun was going to cause me nothing but headaches. Alright, we're put back together. Let's talk about the armaments real quick. Like I said before, you have the long beam rifle, which is pretty cool. In addition to that, because this had extra pieces, you got a bullet machine gun, in case you want to use that instead. And of course, we got 2 nice long beam sabers here for your 2 blades in your hip holsters. In addition to that, we have a few spare parts. We got a base for a ground Gundam shield, in case you need that. We have a handful of spare polycaps, including these little thin ones, which are the ones used for the joints and the legs that are kind of a pain to put together. And then we have this, which is the standard blue visor, in case you chose to do that, rather than the Hades mode. Last, and certainly least, is the Gatling. Let me pop the hand off there real quick. As I said before, there is no trigger finger, so the guns just slide kind of in and out of the hand, which is kind of nice. But if you want to get the Gatling going, oh boy. Let's try it. These super loose hands do not help. But it has a nice little attachment thing here to hook to the back, which you can then slide inside. The barrel's also really crazy loose, and I don't like that. Which means I'm probably going to have to glue that in at some point. For setting up the Gatling. You know what? Give me a minute. And here it is, in all its glory, holding the Gatling. It is such a pain to get this thing to hold it. The hands feel like they're going to pop out at any second. The belt there had to be removed in order to at least connect it. Now, there might be some other ways of going around and making this work a little bit easier. For example, the belt connects to this canister here on the side. I figure if you pulled this off and popped the canister over to here, you could have the belt just kind of hanging down. It'd probably put a lot less tension on it, which would probably allow it to hold it a bit better. It looks decently intimidating this way, but it doesn't look nearly as cool as I wanted it to. If anything, it's kind of a letdown, and that's unfortunate because this is a premium kit. Not only do I have hands that don't even want to stay in the sockets, but even when I equip this with the weapon that was the reason why I chose it, it doesn't even look all that good. It makes me wish I'd gone for the ground type, where I don't think I'd have nearly as much trouble with the weapon. However, it is possible the ground type also has the same issues with the hands. While I can take time to tighten up the hands and make them work a little bit better, the Gatling just looking kind of plain doesn't really help. And the fact that it really unbalances the suit, so when you move it, you gotta make sure you're careful with the legs, otherwise it'll just topple right over. Overall, it's really hard to recommend this suit. I like what it looks like. I like all the weapon options. I like the fact that you can choose whether you want this to be Hades mode or standard mode. There's a lot to really like about this mobile suit. However, the weak hands, the pain of getting the Gatling to actually be held properly, the absurd amount of stickers, the fact that parts keep falling off even though it's a premium kit. By the way, not the first premium kit I've had to deal with that problem. It gets to be very difficult to recommend it. Now, if you're a fan of the Pale Rider, I might suggest going for the ground type instead. If you need a kick-ass looking Gatling gun mobile suit, you can always go for the G05. If for some reason you don't like Gundam Thoroughbred, you can go for this suit. It's just not as good as I wanted it to be. And when it's a premium kit and you have to pay that extra, you really want the suit to be awesome, and unfortunately it's not. This suit disappointed me in a lot of ways. No matter how cool it looks, the coolness of a design will always be outmatched by the pain of building it, and worse yet, the difficulties of posing it. The Pale Rider space type isn't worth it. It took me a while to kind of admit that to myself, but it's the truth. I hope this has helped your GunPla purchasing decision. Let me know if you got the Pale Rider and if you had the same problems I did in the comments. And if you could, please like and subscribe. It only takes a few seconds for you and it really helps small channels like mine. Until next time, I'll see you at the tavern, hopefully building a kit that isn't a disappointment.